All right, this podcast is for CNT140. We're talking the next piece of our bid spec on project planning. Our list of progress to date is rather large. The last couple things we've done is talked about cable support and updating our cost sheet with the cable trays and things we need, updating our cable maps to show the cable tray locations, updating our cost sheet with the equipment closet needs, that's the racks and patch panels and those sorts of things, doing a drawing of our racks in our closet, and then adding to our cost sheet the cost of cable certification. That was, the roughly $5 or so per drop to certify cable runs in the building. The next thing we need to do in our bid spec, our project, is do a quick project plan. We need to add a piece to our plan that shows our customer and our technicians working on this project, how long this project is going to take to implement. That way our customer knows how long, as well as our technicians know what we're working on each day. Typically, this is the job of a project manager or project planner. Just a quick side note, that's a possible career area for people. Some people like this. Some people like, watching a project, making sure everything's getting done. So we're going to sit in their shoes for just a couple minutes and do a timeline to show all the pieces that need to get done in the project and about how long it's going to take. Typically, this gets done with some kind of chart, sometimes a Gantt chart showing these are the tasks and about how long each task is going to take. So on the next page here, on our next page of our project planning notes, I give you a couple ideas to get it started. We do need to brainstorm, think back to all the labs and equipment we ordered for our bid spec, and how I would kind of reproduce that at a customer site. Because we've done all the pieces, we've ordered all the equipment, so to speak. So how would I do this for a customer site? So start brainstorming that. And then I need to start thinking, what are the major tasks that I would need to do to complete all of this at a customer site? And then start putting them in some kind of logical order. Example, I need to install the cable trays before installing the horizontal cabling, obviously, and then I would need to install closet equipment before terminating the horizontal cabling. I need to have all the closet equipment in place before I can terminate to the patch panel, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to create some kind of Gantt chart to show all these steps and about how long they're going to take. And here's my sample down here just to give you an idea of the kind of thing it's going to look like. Now, I have two different ways that you can create this. I'll see if I can get to both in this podcast. If not, I'll create a second one. The first one I found is actually a newer method that's actually kind of slick. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, and I'm going to open my drive here. I'll even open the 140 page where I have my stuff so far. And under the Google Drive, I'm going to do New, and there's an option down here for Connect More Apps. So if I do this, I click the Connect More Apps, I can search for apps that link up with my Google Drive, and I'm actually going to search for Gantt, if I can type correctly, G-A-N-T-T. I'm going to search for Gantt, and the first one that popped up on the list, Gantter for Google Drive, actually worked pretty well. So go ahead and add that one to your, do a connect here, add this to your Google Drive. After you've done that, when you click New, you'll get an option down here under the apps to do Gantter for Google Drive. This is the one I'm going to use first. This actually works pretty well and saves right in your Google Drive. So I'm going to load this guy up. It'll take a second to load, and what I need to roughly do is put my tasks on the left and some kind of ballpark timeline on the right of about how long each piece is going to take. Don't get too hung up on this. We got to start somewhere. So to do this, over here on the left, I'm going to start putting the tasks I would need to do for my customer site, and I'm going to think through. One of the first things we did is we did a site. Actually, let's do I'll do a site survey. This is kind of where we walk through our building to figure out the different rooms in our building. And from here, we did a closet selection where we're going to put our equipment. From this, we started, if we think back now on our bid spec, we did a lot of, cable estimation. We then did things like adding the equipment to our plan. So we did our cable estimation, then we did, equipment list preparation kind of thing, or equipment equipment selection, if you will, all the equipment that we would need. After we've done that, we're basically doing a, prepare the proposal or present the proposal kind of thing. And this would all be under kind of the initial phase of our project. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put another one in that says, this is my proposal, my BidSpec proposal, or BidSpec presentation, or preparation, or something like that. Preparation. Now I'm going to take this task and I'm going to move him to the top. I'm going to take him and move him way to the top. And then these guys here, these lines here, I'm going to take all these guys and I'm going to indent. 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 Now, if I take a look, this is all of my preparation that I've done. And now we'll move on to the project implementation, or the project install phase, if you will. So we'll do the project install. Now, nope, I don't want him indented. Get back up there. I want him outdented. He'll be the next phase of our project. Well, now I need to think of what different things I'm going to install in my building. Well, one of the first things we need to do is install the cable trays. So install cable trays. After we do that, we can start installing closet equipment. Once the closet equipment's installed, then we can do our, install horizontal cable. We can install backbone cable. Then we can start terminating horizontal cable. And I might even want to break it out to stay a terminate horizontal cable in the closet. Terminate horizontal cable at the work area, and then terminate backbone cable. Then once we have roughly our equipment installed and cabling installed, we will do some sort of initial test and troubleshoot horizontal cabling and so forth. Horizontal cable, and then maybe do our certify horizontal cable. And there's roughly the pieces of our plan. Let's try to do a selection here, where we're going to, here we go, let's highlight all those guys and indent all of them. Now this would all be under the project install phase. Okay, so there's roughly our tasks, and it's not too hard to figure out. If I get something wrong, I can move it up or down. I can move it down in my plan and so forth. I can add a line and then move it up. So now that I have the major pieces, and I can move them around or tweak them if I need to. The next thing we need to do is on the right, you'll notice there is little timelines for each task. Don't get too hung up on this, but see if you can't estimate, how long each piece would take. And maybe you want to grab the whole date, slide it out here to, a starting point, and move everything from there. Site survey is going to take a day. I'm clicking this. I'm going to move the whole thing out. That's going to take a day. We'll move that to like Tuesday. Cable estimation, I'm going to move that out to maybe Wednesday. Equipment selection, it looks like I need to do some checking of my spelling over there. Thursday, and then my proposal maybe Friday. So over the course of a week, maybe I pull this whole thing together for a customer. So there's my preparation. Now the install, let's slide my dates over here. This will take a little longer, but I'll slide my date out here. And maybe for my cable trays, I'm going to give it a week. So I'll grab the end of this date, slide it out, and give it a week to install the cable trays. And I'll come here and do the closet equipment. Oops, get back here. I'll slide this whole thing out. Come on. Out here, and maybe I'll do the install closet equipment being next week and so forth. So just go down through and try to give a ballpark day or week or something like that for each phase of the project. When you're all done, come up here at the top, give this thing a name. I'll do mine something like CNT140 Gantt chart, something of that nature. I'm going to do mine version 2 because I have a version 1 out there. I'll save that. And I'm going to need to, I'll click on autosave here, that way it starts saving my progress. I'm also going to go to project, and I want to make sure this is getting saved where I want it to. So over here there should be an option to, yeah, actually here, save to Google Drive. Make sure it's doing that. I'll look at my Google Drive and make sure it's getting in there. It might actually be, yep, it's actually here. So I can move that later, but at least it's in my drive and it's being saved. When I'm all done, all I would need to do is do a project print PNG over here, and it'll make a PNG of my project. It'll download it to like my downloads folder that I can use that for submission later. So there real quickly is creating my Gantt chart using this Gantter application that links, oop, there's my PNG. I just say that that's going to throw up my download folder. Come over here, my download folder. Here it is. It's very generic at this point, but there's my PNG of my Gantt chart. So this is one way to create your timeline. As you see, we've spent about 5 minutes and we're mostly done. So this is a 10 to 15 minute project for us. Like I said, I'm more worried about the tasks, not so much the dates, but more worried about the tasks, you showing me some thought on how this whole thing comes together. So this is one way to get your Gantt chart together. The other is on D2L, I have a link to a program called Gantt Project. This is a free download application for Windows, Apple, and Linux. I've used it on all three. Download and install this guy. When you do, you're going to get a program like so. I'm going to load mine up, Gantt Project. In here, it's going to work very much the same way. I will come in here. I will do a new task. I think this is up here. Where is my... I think I just start typing in here. Oh, come on. All right, up on the top bar, I can use my little clock here for a new task, or right click here for a new task, and just start inputting just like I did on the other one. Site survey. Right below that, I want to do maybe closet selection. Below that, I would do, equipment selection kind of thing. And again, all these, I might put a new task here that says bid, spec, proposal. I can move this to the top, take these items here, highlight them, do an indent on them, so now they're under that phase. Come down here, do a new task. Oops, come down here. Come down here, do a new task. This might be my project install phase. Below that, new task again, and I would do the install cable trays, new task, install horizontal cable, and so forth. I can highlight these, indent them for the next phase, and then over here on the right, just like I did before, I can drag my dates, oops, and do an approximation on time of this guy. Yep, get out of here. If I need to change the beginning time, just come over here and put a date. Maybe I want to make the beginning of this guy 4/11. He'll jump over there, and then I can grab the date from there. Same with this guy. Maybe I want to make him, make the beginning of him 4/11. He'll jump over there. I can grab the dates and drag them around. So I'm going to do the same basic process over here. This is maybe a little more user-friendly. It has its own little quirks. When I'm all done, obviously save this guy. Save some sort of CNT140 Gantt chart. When I'm all done, I will do on this guy, there should be an option to export, project export kind of thing. When I do a project export, I can pick the type of file I want, PNG or JPEG. I can do a PNG here. It'll say what date range do I want to do. I say okay, it's going to create a PNG for me. In this case, it plopped it on the desktop. Then I'll have that for submission later. So there's two different quick ways I can create my Gantt chart. Again, the main focus is the tasks over here. What tasks do we want to complete? I do want you to show some dates on the right, how long each piece is going to take, but don't get too hung up on the dates. I'm more interested in you thinking through what tasks in my project do I need to do to implement this for the customer. So there's your project planning for your BidSpec.